I love that. You have really, really great questions.
The legend of the Sandman. It says the Sandman can make your dreams come true. It's magic! I can see your crack, Houdini.
How are you?
I'm very good, man. How are you?
My pleasure talking to you, man. Honor.
Thank you, man. My pleasure as well.
I'm curious. How's your preparation when you have to embody an animated character? That's very important because it's a father figure. It's any change that you have to do, like with your boys physically. How's that conversation with both directors to create this character?
Yeah, I mean, it was not the easiest, man, and I think every workflow is going to look a little bit different, but in our specific situation, I didn't know what this character would look like, and I didn't know how he would move. You know, a lot of times when you start work on an animated movie as a voice actor, you're starting with just a script, and you've got to
Mhm.
really build this character up from inside your mind. You know, what like how do you imagine that he sounds? How does he laugh? And I think, you know, it's really important that you trust your director, and we had a great one, you know, Alex Wu, who also wrote the script and kind of conceived of this whole world. He did a great job in kind of sharing that with me, and you know, I was just basically working with him really closely and being like, well, what if he was like this, and you know, kind of just throwing ideas back and forth. So I would say it's oftentimes flying blind. And it wasn't, you know, in our case, it wasn't until months later when he finally was able to show me what my character even looked like. And so just, you know, dealing with that, and then also just, I guess the good thing is having the ability to kind of go back and re-record certain scenes. I mean, there was
Mhm.
a lot of that, right? Things would get rewritten, entire parts would get rewritten, the ending changed, you know, like 5 or 6 times. So it's just that process of like continuously finding it over the course of, I want to say, like, years. I think we started in 2021, and maybe I feel like maybe my last session was probably 2020, late 2023. So yeah, really like many, many years where, you know, I would just come in, and we would like, for whatever, you know, 4 hours, 3 hours, we would just get to talk about what we wanted this scene or this new scene to be like.
How do you find consistency? Because it's been so long. How do you find consistency with your voice and your character? Because one thing is working 6 months with a character, but then working 4 years with a character and a mindset with a person.
No, that's a really, really fantastic question. I think a lot of times I would have to go back and reference what I did because like I had
Mhm.
forgotten, and you know, again, it's a lot of trust with Alex, who would tell me, okay, this is what really worked. You know, when we took all of your takes from last time, this is what we chose. This is what we think is working, and so it is really just this constantly evolving dialogue. And then I will say, like, you know, listening to Jolie, who voices Stevie, and listening to Elias, who voices Elliot, and obviously Kristen, who voices
Mhm.
my wife, who, because of animation, I've only really actually met like a couple of times. Hearing them really helped me ground as well. And once, you know, we got further and further along into the process, I started to hear more of their lines as well. And then it became less about me fabricating out of thin air, but more about me reacting to what everyone else was doing. And everyone else was so good.
Yeah.
So you know, it kind of made my job super easy as well.
One of the beauty things about this kind of film is it's a familiar movies.
Hmm.
And usually I watch it with my daughter, and in many families when I watch it, like it's rarely the kids will watch this by themselves.
Sure. Yeah.
What was your expectation that people, the old audiences, like parents, get as a not message, but as an idea of what is the perfect family looks like? You know,
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that. You have really, really great questions. No, I think that's what our whole movie is about, is this idea of a
Mhm.
perfect family. And I think I grew up kind of really inundated with images of what a perfect family looks like.
Mhm.
I think a lot of families in kids movies feel very, you know, happy and smiling and warm, and certainly I think, and safe, and I think that's what families feel like for sure, like 90 whatever percent of the time, or most of the time, hopefully, if you're lucky. But no family is that perfect,
Yeah.
first of all. Every family is going to have their own version of what mom and dad go through over the course of this movie, whether it's, you know, you know, in our case, you know, I think it's just two people who find themselves at a point in life where they're wanting different things.
Mhm.
And those things that they want are in direct conflict with each other. There's not
Yeah.
necessarily, it's not a good guy versus a bad guy. No one's done anything wrong. It's just, you know, sometimes life just works out, and sometimes life doesn't, and sometimes it's not, sometimes the answer isn't super easy. And so, I think it's really important for kids to watch movies like this so that they can evolve their perception of what a perfect family ought to look like. And if your parents aren't, 100% smiling and aligned all the time, that's okay. That's okay, because they're their own human beings as well, and they deserve to have their own, thoughts and dreams and aspirations. And sometimes, because they're different people, they're not always going to agree. But the important thing is, if if you're a family and you all love one another, we can be open and honest and communicate, and hopefully, find a way forward.
Samuel, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank
Congratulations.
you, man. I really appreciated your questions.
Hi, Christine. I'm Ruben from Dominican Republic. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to talk to you.
Me too.
One of the subjects that I love about this film, it's when touch the idea of perfection, of a perfect family.
Yeah.
And you just break this in the first 10 minutes where the kids start noticing patterns in their parents. Do you think this is a great idea right now, like touching that every family is not perfect, and,
Yeah.
and people have doubts too?
Yeah. I mean, I think anything that can sort of explore the idea that to like accept what is actually there in front of you and accept you know yeah, there's no such thing as perfect. So and of course it makes so much sense that that's like, what one yearns for. So I really like that too.
What do you expect that the me as an audience because I watched this with my daughter,
Oh,
and my
yeah?
daughter loved the film. She's 6 and she
She's
loved
6?
it,
Oh, good.
and she feel identified with Elias' character
Yeah.
because she's silly, she's very
Yeah.
energetic. And what do you expect people? The thing is, your character, the mom, she's kind of the tough one. She's kind of usually
Pragmatic.
is exactly.
Yeah.
And I love the final sequences. What do you expect that the audience, me, take away from this film, but specifically from your character, from perspective from your character?
Gosh, I don't know. I guess I would hope that they take away that, like, you know, it's tough but so possible to get through a hard time together.
And that's what I love about the film, because it just create the family together in very different segments
Yeah.
until we see them at the end. I don't want to say anything,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what was your favorite reaction when you start seeing, when you had the script and you saw all these crazy dreams and all these crazy possibilities that this kid is gonna be involved? Because for me, it's very creative, everything that
Yeah.
happens inside the film.
I really liked the sort of when there are dream sequences that you don't know are a dream at first. Those were kind of my favorite, where like something is slightly off or something feels and then later when she sees like the dream version of her parents.
Yep, that you think that you're living in real life.
And she's like, I would rather have this. I thought that was so affecting.
I think because I know people, they've been through the same situation, and the kids are really exposed to that
Yeah.
situation, and I don't know if it's sad and it's relieving that they live possibilities through their
Right.
dreams. How do
Right.
you feel about it?
I think for sure. And I think it's like it's a really good metaphor for the lengths of which, I don't know, the lengths to which we'll go to like hold everything together or to chase this thing that we want so bad, when maybe like what is the best thing is like right in front of us. Like their
Mhm.
family is their family, and like they get through it. And like the fantasy version of that is not going to be as good as the real thing, even if it's maybe like shinier. Yeah.
Christine, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
I love you. I love your work.
Oh, thanks. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. One of the things that I love about this film, I watched it with my daughter, and she just was super excited because the dreams are super wild, like zombies for breakfast and things like that. And I wondered, how was that reaction when you read this version of a dream for the first time, when you got the script in your hand and then it started working in your head?
Sometimes just reading it, it's hard to imagine like how they're going to animate it. But I remember one dream in particular where they're fighting like Frank, like this giant teddy bear in their dreams, and they're flying on the bed. That one was my favorite because it was one that, I read the script and I didn't really know how it was going to be done. But when I watched it, the timing of it, and like they have like a little anime magical girl sequence. Like I wasn't expecting it at all, and it was so much fun. Like I was like laughing in the booth. It was great, and that's probably my favorite dream.
Mine was watching Baloney Tony. It's hard to talk about without giving stuff away.
Yeah.
Their relationship with the brother and sister, and Baloney Tony's where he's with Elliot. That's my favorite part. The silliness, the fart jokes, just
The laser farts.
laser farts. Yes.
I remember one of the first scenes I saw when we started working on this movie was the dream scene where like Elliot's bed comes to life and it's like a horse. And I just remember like watching that scene and just seeing like how creative and like adventurous these scenes are, because Elliot is just like having such a great time, like flying his bed, and like when he finds out that he can control it, he's just like excited and happy, and he's dragging Stevie along and she's like hanging on for dear life. It's just like a really funny scene.
Yeah, that was one really funny recording session. That was like my third session I ever did, and it was just 3 hours of me like doing all like the grunts and yells from that one scene.
Yeah, me too. That scene, I was like yelling the whole time. Like my voice was gone by the end of the day.
Same. Yeah.
Talking about voice, how important is to have a voice for a character and then find that chemistry with your actors, because this is not your real voice. So how do you find the right chemistry or the right voice for the character, and then your core character it just go with it, like that you find that chemistry through your voice?
Honestly, I feel like I didn't change my actual voice that much, but what really does change is like the speech patterns and the way you say things, and I think that's really just derived from personality. Like Stevie is so like uptight and always really tense, and I think that like comes across in the way that she speaks. But as for chemistry, like it's a little tough because we don't actually record together most of the time. Like I got the chance to know Eli, which was nice, but I don't know, you just kind of have to like put your imagination to work and act like you're in a room with someone else. Yeah.
Yes, a good collaboration, because you got the director and co-producers, and we're all in there in the booth just improvising, cracking jokes, and just finding out who the character is.
Yeah, like Jolie was talking about, like the personality. Like Elliot has a very wild, energetic personality, so I would like kind of help like hype myself up and get that high energy, because Elliot is just like screaming a bunch and he's funny and wild. So yeah, I would like really like try to be like high energy. And also, like Craig was talking about, the director, Alex, was really great, because I remember in the booth a lot of the times he would deliver the line how he wanted me to say it, and I remember he was very passionate about that. Like he would say the lines great, and it really gave me an idea of how he wanted them to be said.
Well, my 6 years old say this is one of the best movies she ever seen. So thank you so much for that.
All right.
That's so
Thank
sweet.
you.